Good morning, and welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach, and today we got to talk about some big plans that we have going on over there. We've hinted a bunch, but I need your all's input. But first, I'm trying to time this out. Wish your editor and the best farmhand there is a big happy birthday. It's his birthday today. Birthday. So if you're new around here, that's old Jed, my brother-in-law, Jen's brother. He works for us here on the farm, but he's also the one that are editing y'all's videos for you right here. It's pretty nice having him around. It's a big birthday. Help me wish him a big happy birthday down below because he looks at the comments too. So before we get to talking about over there, this is something that we have to do on the farm. It's funny. We have to go get our reads for our water meters and call them in and pay the bill because the water meter is actually right beside our barn, which is where our animals are. So I'm like, I'll give you the read. If you didn't know that was an option, you can definitely do that with your water company. Just I'll give you a read. It's cool. You don't have to come up in here. Hello, animals. Enjoying your morning breakfast? What you doing, Buster? What you doing? All right, I've got that done. Before we get to the plans, there's one more thing I want to show you. It's not overly exciting because of the circumstance, but my dad's truck's back. So got some nice wheels on her. She looks good. So we sent it off to be worked on because we didn't want to just sit here and rot. Being completely blunt, I'm not a mechanic. I know how to do the most stuff, change oils, change tires, do all the basic maintenance, but I am not one that can restore an old square body like this. That isn't in my wheelhouse. Now I could learn, just not a whole lot of time. Might have to though, because the only guy that we could get to even try to work on it has sent it back to us unfinished. Not because there's anything wrong with it, but because basically his business shut down in the middle of him having my truck, which really sucks. So it's here. It costs way too much money to have it just sitting, but that's next on the list. I'm trying to figure out if there's anybody else that can finish this up. Like I know it needs a starter. That's something easy I can do, but there's quite a few other things electrical wise that needs to be done because my dad, he was good, but he kind of wired everything backwards, which makes complete sense to me. If you knew Gary, you knew that makes complete sense. So I need somebody to help me try to get it actually finished, but that's a project that's needing to be finished real soon. But for now, I'm just glad she's back because I was a little worried with the situation if we weren't being scammed. Thankfully, we weren't being scammed, but I was getting a little nervous about it. Okay, and everything that we've been waiting for to talk about what is happening over here. So if you remember correctly, this used to be one of our pastures for our cows. You know now that we are going to be moving away from having as many cattle as we have. We're going to keep one. For milk, we're gonna move it to the petting zoo, but that'll free up both of these ginormous pastures we have over here. So we have a few ideas and we need your all's help. But first, if you don't mind, go hit that like button. So need number one is we need to build a building probably more closer to this side, closer to where our farm store is, because we need a warehouse. It's a really good problem to have that business is doing well, but we need to start expanding because it's really hard to like have all your stuff in the farm store and then also try to be open for a farm store and make it look pretty. So we're trying to make a building of some form. We're looking at plans now to figure out what might work best, but a warehouse that can get all of our stuff in to where we can have deliveries and stuff like that set up, which brings up another thing. We got to work on the gravel driveway situation because right now we have it to where it came down here to the farm store, which is fine, but it's difficult to get in and out. So we really need to try to work on making something out to where we can get over here, stay with me, down to about right here where the building might be, to where we can have deliveries and they can just circle back around and be able to get out easier. So that will be step number one no matter what. But then the building's the second idea. The other idea, which is the bigger one, the more exciting idea, is turning this in to basically a campground. So a miniature-ish campground, more for like Airbnb stays, I would say, but I mean, it could just be a campground. So we want, an idea was to put a pond in the middle up here, build a pond because everything slopes down to here and it would be a good spot for a pond. And then either build some more little Amish cabins like our store or throw up some camper sites to have people come and be able to stay, and the pond would be the center of attention. So everything would be facing the pond. And it's just another kind of revenue stream and something that Jen and I really enjoyed when we had the Airbnb. And it's funny, her and her mom actually have always had this dream of having a campground for the Appalachian Trail hikers. So the hikers come off the trail, having a spot close to be able to stay the night, get a warm meal, because the Appalachian Trail is very long, very cold, and you don't have much food out there. So they've always had a dream to have that, and I've really picked up on it. I like the idea too. So that's one of them. That's a big one. That one's gonna take a while. So the thought on that one is we wouldn't have to wait till the campground's completely done, but we would like to have the pond and try to maybe build one Amish cabin to start with. That way we could have at least one family or whatever start to stay, rent it out as an Airbnb, and then just gradually make it more of a campground so it's not such a cost all up front. Because when you're farming and it's your primary revenue stream, you got to do things as you can. You don't want to just bulk up and get a big old loan and then just shoot for the fences. We like the approach of paying for it and building it as you got it. That way, if it doesn't work out, you haven't lost too much money and you're not in a huge hole. So that is another idea. And then in the middle of all that, we want to make our farm store, starting in the spring when we reopen, bigger and better this year. So last year was kind of our learning year, figuring out what people want, what we need to offer, how we need to offer it, what times that we need to be open, stuff like that. So if you've ever been to a U-Pick place, you know they always have festivals and events and stuff like that. So we need to, one, just do better with having more items that the local folks would like to have. And then secondly, we need to do more festivals. And what I mean by that is like a spring kickoff, fall festival, summer bash, stuff like that. So I want to get a couple corrals. I want to get some corrals out to where we can corral them down here. We can put a few of the best goats down and just let people feed them. Maybe have somebody come and bring their horses just to walk horses around, food truck, music, things like that, to make the buzz a little bit more exciting and make the summer a little bit more fun around our farm store to draw attention to it. But that one's fairly easy. That's more of just getting a few things to set it up, and it's more about planning and getting the word out. So that's some of the ideas that we have. Jen and I are terrible at keeping secrets, so that's why I want to go ahead and tell you, and especially since it's going to take us a while to do this stuff, I don't want to like hold this out and like hide things until it's like done, because to us, it's always evolving. Like it's never done. So we never know when to big bang that out. But that's some of our ideas. Let me know what you all would do. If you had all of this property over here, what would you do with it? What's your thoughts? Put it down in the comments for me. Either way, a lot of exciting stuff happening for 2023. Y'all remember when I was sitting right there and I was telling you that the start of the year is going to be some major changes that are happening for us. Those are still on track. Everything's still working. It's just since we told you all that, it feels like the time is moving so slow. We're trying to just sit back and enjoy every moment because we have Christmas rolling up. We have our vacation coming up, and then we have the real excitement that's about to happen that we get to share with you all. That one we are keeping a secret until it's time. So you have to stay tuned for that. But we're really excited. Like I am so pumped for 2023. Like there's so much energy in my body that is just like, it's make or break year. This is make or break year. And it's not like any kind of resolution. It's just funny how things are falling into place for that to where it seems like it is. But what I'm getting at is I hope that you are really sitting back and reflecting on your 2022 and figuring out what you're gonna do bigger and better for 2023. Never get stagnant. Never sit there and just fall stagnant into what you're doing and become somebody that's in the same exact position, the same exact money for the next 30 years. Because I know that you can do more and you can do better. And you always want to better yourself. That's something that we are trying to just engrave into our children to make sure that they know to never settle for what you have. Be grateful, but always strive for more. So that's all I got for y'all today. The whole family has kind of came down with some funk. You know, it's one of those. Thankfully, Jen's tinctures help us when we have like symptoms. They're not as bad, but it's just kind of there. Like as we speak, I'm like, I got a little throat thing going on here. But the whole family's kind of got it. So we're just trying to take it easy a little bit and rest and make sure that we're all good and healthy for the holidays and especially vacation coming up. So if any of your family are kind of falling in the same thing, I hope y'all are powering through it pretty well. Remember, just keep taking those tinctures. They do help. They help your symptoms not be near as bad. And as farmers or homesteaders, can't really have a day off. Like you need to be able to get up and function, and the tinctures really do help with that a lot. So you all, we love you all. If you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button and make sure to check out some of our other videos. We have all kinds of good stuff in different playlists, from cooking, canning, farming, animals, garden. There's something out there for everybody. We love y'all. Until the next one. Bye.